Awesome. So good afternoon, MTA family. I wish you all so much wellness. And I must say, I'm very happy to welcome you to our Transit University workshop today. Today, we're delving into data in Excel. And I congratulate you on taking the time to use this next hour to tackle data. I got to say that I'm looking forward to seeing this information today because getting better at saving time and being more productive through Excel is something I see in my immediate future. So, my name is Yvelle Stanford, and I'm the AVP of HR Training, Development, and Educational Resources team. I'd like to hand over the next hour to a very talented tech literacy lead, Maritez Macapagal. Thanks, Maritez.
Thank you, Val. Good afternoon, everybody. And of course, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Um, my name is, of course, Marites Macapagal, and I'm from New York City Transit Training, Development, and Educational Resource. And thank you for joining us this afternoon. I am so delighted to have all of you here today. Today's class is part of the Excel online class that we have been doing. And today's topic is working with data in Excel. And we hope to provide you with the tools to organize and manage your data. But today's class, I have a co host who's around that I would like to introduce, and he might want to say hello to everybody. Rafael?
Good afternoon, everyone. As Marita said, I'm Rafael. I'm going to be here looking at the Q&A. So if you have any questions, I can answer them. I'll give you an answer. Otherwise, Maritas will get back to you. So thank you for being here. Enjoy your session.
Thank you, Rafael. So today, once again, we are using WebEx as our platform for our online class. I will share with you my desktop so that I could show you Excel application. And if you have additional questions, just like what Rafael have mentioned, you could actually submit your question in the Q&A and he will try to answer your question today. If not, after the class, I will try to answer all of those and give you the answer to all of your questions or inquiry. Now, this class will be recorded and we will share the recordings to all of you. Okay, so after this class, just give us some time, for our program to generate the recording. So I will turn off my video so you could actually focus on the presentation I'm going to show you this afternoon. So all ready? I'm ready. Okay, so let me turn off my video and let me start. And let me go and bring you over to the objective for today's class. So, as I've mentioned, today's class is working with data in Excel. And our learning objective is participants will be able to learn how to organize and manage Excel data files using the following features: flash fill, sort list, filter, outline, subtotals, and data validations. So we have 6 topics for today. So let me now switch and bring you over to my Excel worksheet. There you go. So you have Excel right in front of you right now. And I will start with the first topic that I have actually on the list, which is about flash fill. So, in the past, you see the data that I have here. These are not actual real employees' names. These are make-up names. But I just need to use some information like this because this is a typical thing that we have at work. And you will be asked, you're given these names, you're given the BSC ID number and the employee's email address, but you were asked to, hey, can you sort them by the last name? And of course, I need to know from which agency are these people are coming from. So in the old version of Excel, I will call it an old or previous version of Excel, like my dear friend Rafael would agree with me because he loved functions and formulas. You will use the left the right, and the middle functions to be able to extract the first name, the last name, and of course, also the agency where these people are coming from. But there is now a new feature called Flash Fill. And what is a Flash Fill? Flash Fill automatically fills your data when it senses a pattern. This feature is only available in Excel 2013 and later version. Again, it's only available in Excel 2013 and later version. So as I've said, all you have to do is establish a pattern in the first cell of the column by typing the data and hitting the enter key. So I need to get the last name. So I will click on D. I am currently in D2. Okay, everybody, you could see my screen. I am currently in D2. With the names I have on the list, last name is spelled, by the way, make sure if you're planning to use Flash Fill, it is case sensitive and it's also spelling sensitive, should I say. I don't want to say wrong spelling is wrong. Okay, but let me type Germain, okay, which is the last name. So capital Germain. That's the first last name of the first person on the list. Then I will hit the enter key to go to the next line or to the next cell. The next last name begins with the letter G, Garcia. But the moment I start typing A, do you see a preview of all the last name on the next few cells? Now, all I have to do is hit the enter key and voila. You have the last name populated. Just to show you, look down. I have 45,000 rows. Imagine if you have to do all the formulas and all of this, that's a lot of work. Or you trying to type the last name, that's a lot of work. Look how the Flash Fill can actually do the work from you. Let's do it one more time. Again, I need a first name. So the first name is Richard, capital Richard. The next person's first name is Jess, capital J. There we go. I have again the preview and hit the enter key. Now, just a little reminder, what if it didn't work? And you'd say, how could I make it work? By default, it's already by default active. However, if it's not, you go to File, you go all the way down to Options, and in the Excel Options dialog box, all you have to do is go to Advanced, and in the Advanced, under the Editing right there, you will see Automatically Flash Fill have a check mark, and that's what you have to check. Now, just in case also it doesn't still work, sometimes it becomes so stubborn, there is a Flash Fill option that you will find under the data ribbon, and under the data tools, there's Flash Fill. So let's try the agency one more time. I will type NYCT for the first agency. Hit the enter key. The next agency is there you go, MTA Bus Company. And I simply hit the enter key. Done. Beautiful, right? So I'm sure you got that feature correct and easy to learn. Now let's move on to the next. I have a lot of topic to discuss. Sorting. And you say, hey, Maritas, I know sorting already. But let me just tell you and keep you posted. In the old version of Excel, to be able to sort, you have to select the entire range of data. Now, as the new version comes up, you don't need to select the entire range when you are sorting. What is important is when you start sorting, make sure your mouse is anywhere or your active cell is anywhere within the range of the list that you are going to try to sort. You could sort by column and then automatically sort and follow through with the record. So sorting organizes the data in what you call ascending or descending order. You could sort a range or a table of data on one or more columns of data. So if I would like to sort by agency, all I have to do is click anywhere within the column of agency. And if I go to the data ribbon, this is sort and filter, and I see the A to Z there. All I have to do is click A and Z, and it's sorted in ascending order. If I click 0A, it will sort in descending order. But what if I would like to sort multiple columns? First, you were asked to sort them by agency, then by the last name. And if there are people with the same last name, you might need to sort also using the first name. So when you're sorting with multiple level, you now start using this custom sort option. So let me click on this to be able to come up with a multiple sorting option. So again, I will sort by agency. That's my first level of sorting. I will add another level. Click right here using the last name. When I'm using last name and first name, it's always good to have first name as a third level. In that way, if I have multiple people with the same last name, which a lot of times can happen, it could actually be sorted by the first name to easier to find people on the list. Then make sure you have to select the correct order. I sorted Z to A a while ago. I could resort to A to Z and everything is in ascending order. And make sure now, by the way, I have column headings. So make sure you have a check mark on my data has headers. If not, those title will be part of the sorting. So you don't want to sort your column headings or your title. Okay, so make sure my data has headers. Click OK. And there you go. And now you can see right here, it is sorted by agency, first level, second level, last name, everybody which name starts with the letter A. But take a look. I have multiple people with the name, last name, Abraham. So now look at their first name. They're sorted alphabetically too. Great and beautiful, right? Okay, so we're done with the second option, which is actually sorting. Now let me go to the third feature called filtering data. What is filtering? A lot of times we have this big list that we were able to extract, whether from a data entry that you have had before, or it could have been extracted from ELM or from, PeopleSoft. And now you wanted to make sure that you have all the data, but then your manager said, I don't need to see all of them. I just want you to be able to show me only the people from different agency. So what are you going to do? Will you create multiple worksheet, copy and paste and delete? That's a lot of work. So in Excel, there's what you call filtering of data, where you use filters to temporarily hide some of the data in the table so you could focus on the data you want to see based on the specific criteria. So let's try to do this. So what's the first step? If you look at my list, I have my column headings, right? We have it sorted already, but I wanted to filter them by agency. I don't want to see all of them, but I wanted to be able to print data per agency. So under the data ribbon on the sort filter, you see this funnel? When you hover your mouse over it, it says turn on filtering for the selected cell. So I click on it and to activate it. Now, what do you see on your screen? On your screen, you could see now, let me make this a little bit bigger so you could actually see clearer what I'm projecting right now. Okay, there you go. You notice the column headings? You see those little drop down arrows next to every column headings or field names and title. So when I click on, I will scroll here so you could see better the agency. You click on the drop down arrow. So you notice it says agency showing all agency. So let's click on it. So one of the simplest and the quickest way to filter is looking at the list at the bottom. You see select all? So right now, when I hover over this one, it says agency and it shows all. And obviously 45,000 rows are actually on my list right now, and it's showing all of the employees from different agency. What if I was told, do it one agency at a time? So I'm just going to start with, okay, I'm going to pick up MTA BSC. Okay, but if I do that, it will only select that. So that's not the way to do it. Because if you unselect that, all of this will be shown except for this. So it should be the other way around. First, you have to select all to remove the check mark on each one of them. Then you select what you would like to just view or see. So I will start again with MTA BSC. When I click OK, take a look. What I have now is MTA BSC agency. Now, what have changed? First, take a look at this option, the drop-down arrow. Now have the icon of the filter funnel. And look at this description. It says agency equals MTA BSC. Okay? And look at all of them. To be even if I scroll down, there we go. All of them are MTA BSC. What else have changed? On your left are the row numbers. They are now in blue color and they have skipped certain numbers because they are actually what have hidden some of the other agencies, and it's just temporarily looking and viewing the agency MTA BSC. Now, your question might be, can I have multiple agency? Yes, you can. If you go here, and if I would like to also include, aside from MTA BSC, and I would like to activate also MTA Bridges and Tunnel, if I click OK, if we scroll down, you could see MTA PT. See that? So you could actually add as you please. Now, how do I clear? When you are in here, there's a clear filter from agency just for that particular, because that's the only criteria that we have. So when I click on it, it clears and brings back everything in it. So let's do it once again. Let me click on agency. And let's say I would like to view everybody except for, okay, now I would like to view just Metro North and click OK. Now I have my Metro North agency. Then you might ask me, when I print, can I print just this? Yes, because when I do the print preview and take a look at them. What do you see? All Metro North organization. Okay, so there's multiple pages, but that's at least what we have right there. Now, what if I have multiple condition? Aside from actually filtering the people coming from Metro North agency, I'm looking for specific people and I'm organizing the records. So I wanted to look at the name of employees that begins with letter M. Okay, so that's my second criteria. So on my filtering last name, you said you need to find out all employees that their name begins with letter M. So that's when I use the other text filter options. And instead of saying equal, we could say begins with. And this is now my custom auto filter option. And I said I wanted to see those last names but begins with M. And I could use the wildcard character asterisk, as you see here, to represent any series of characters. And when I click on OK, there we go. So aside from those people who are working from Metro North agency, these are all the list of people whose last name begins with letter M. Okay? And that's basically the simple filtering. Now, how can I get rid of this? You know, here in your data ribbon, if I, instead of going through each column to clear it, under the sort filter, there's the clear. So they gave us an easy button to clear all the criteria. So when I click on this, boom, gone. They're all gone right there. So far so good. So we have actually done multiple things already. Okay, so let me go back to my list first. And as I've mentioned, okay, before any question, I would like, we have done the flash fill, we have done the sorting, and we have done the filter, correct? So before I even give you the question, I would need some volunteer to be able to help me see and practice the features that I have just taught. Any volunteer, Rafa? Is there any volunteer I could share my mouse control and they could do the flash fill practice with me? Rafa, is there any volunteer? You could raise your hand. You could
Yeah.
actually unmute.
Do you see Ingrid Espinosa Marites? She's right.
Ingrid. Okay, so let me just assign, pass a keyboard control, and Ingrid. Let me look for your name. Espinosa. I see your name, Ingrid. I will allow you. Ingrid, you can control my mouse now. Can you do the flash fill for this list? Very good. So I am given the first name, the last name. Now what I want you to give me is the full name of the person. Go ahead, Ingrid. Last name first. Very good. You could use a comma. You could hit the enter key. Okay. Then the next person, last name. There we go. You don't have to complete that. Just simply hit perfect. See how easy? That was great, right? Very good. Congratulations, Ingrid. Okay. So much I want you to do a little more exercise. I would like to give another person a different chance to try now how to do my sorting and filtering. I need another volunteer. So let me take back the control first from Ingrid. And any other volunteer, you could raise your hands. Rafa can tell me who's raising their hands.
Look for the last name Lee. Lan Lee. Yok Lan
Okay,
Lee.
so I'm going to assign, pass my last name Lee,
L-E-E.
L-E-E.
If not, look for L-A-N.
Lan.
Yes.
Yeah, Yuklan Lee. Okay, I'm giving you now the axis. You have the axis now. Oh, I want you to click on the worksheet called Sort and Filter Practice. You could see my worksheet down at the bottom, the next worksheet. Oh, let me select it for you. Right there. You're good. Okay, now you have this list. I have classes, email, last name, first name. First, I would like you to sort them by classes. And then that's the first sorting criteria. And then by the last name and first name. Perfect. No, not email, but classes. Go back to sort. No, the other one, custom sort. Very good. Sorry. So the first one should be classes. Yes. Second level, last name. Perfect. Third level, first name. Perfect. Very good. So you were successful sorting them. Now, I would like you to filter. Okay? Let's filter. How do we activate the filter? Oops. Click away first. Okay. Click on the filter once again. Click within the list. Always make sure your mouse is within the list. You don't have anywhere within the list, a single cell. Very good. Now click on filter. Okay. Okay, very good. Now, I would like you to filter by classes. Click on the classes. You click on the drop down arrow next to the heading classes. Very good. Now click on select all. Yes. Now I want you to select, now click once more to remove all the check mark. Now I want you to select the class Learning MS Teams with OneNote. Oops. Click on select all again. Okay, learning. Okay, so you did that way. That's also good. Now, after selecting that, now I want you to also be able to filter based on the last name, whose last name begins with the letter L. You could use the text filter, which is a lot easier. Click on, you see on top where you have text filter option? Yes. And begins with, it will be a lot easier. Begins with letter L. Type letter L and the wildcard character asterisk so that it would represent asterisk, no asterisk, represent any characters. Okay, asterisk. You see it on the upper, oh, okay, let me just type the asterisk for you. There you go. Now click OK. Perfect. Hey, thank you so much. I have good students today. Okay, so thank you. I know I wanted to give you more exercises, but listen, we have more things to learn and do today. So let me take control of the mouse. And I would like now to actually post some polling. Okay. And I would like to open my polling. Everybody, could you see the polling on the right side? I have two questions there for you. If you could answer the question. Again, my question is, filtering refers to displaying only the information that meets specific criteria. Is that true or is that false? And then the second question is, sorting refers to organizing the data in ascending or descending order by content of one column only. Is sorting good for one column only? Think before you answer. Okay, I'm just going to give you a minute so we could move on to the next topic. Thank you for participating, everybody. Okay. Anybody still answering? Give you a couple of seconds. Okay, so let me close the polling. Okay, it's allowing you some time to submit your answer. Okay, and let me share with you the polling result. So the first question is, Of course, my first question is filtering refers to displaying only the information that meets specific criteria. Is it true or false? Hey, majority says true. Very good. It is very true. Sorting refers to organizing the data in ascending and descending order by content by one column only. And yes, very good. It is actually false. So very good. So let me clear this and let me just save my result and let me now get into the next topic. Okay, so let me go back to my presentation. So we have finished these three topics. So now I'm going to talk about outline, subtotals, and data validation. Well, let me now show you again my screen. Now everybody sees my Excel worksheet once again. A lot of times, okay, this is, look at my heading, it's the second quarter subway ridership, the Bronx stations. So the data that you see here are just make believe number. They're not actual data, okay? We just have to come up with some numbers to play with and to use for our practice exercise. But of course, the stations are all correct. These are all our Bronx stations. For those of you familiar with the different stations, good. So now let me click. Okay, and let me now show you. So a lot of times we have reports like this. And it could be a lot of our report, we start from January all the way down to December. Okay, where you keep the weekly total of the ridership per week. And at the end of the 4 weeks, you get the monthly total at the end. So I have here April, and I have the totals. May, I have the totals. June, I have totals. This is just the second quarter. But just like what I said, you could have a year or two records. Now, what if your manager said, can you give me the totals? I don't care too much about the details. I just want to get the summary. So, how are you going to just show the totals? Manually, the easiest way is if you select column B, C, D, and E, you right click and hide. And then I do the same thing to this. For month of May, week 1, week 2, week 3, right click, hide. L, M, N, O, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 week, right click and hide. I am successful. I'm able to just now have just the totals for every month. Correct? And now if I wanted to show them again, if I forgot how to undo everything, instead of clicking undo, some people will just double click to be able to do that one at a time. It would take a lot of time, right? But there is a better way of doing things. And Excel actually gave us the option or the feature called auto outline. So you use an outline to quickly display the summary rows or column or to reveal details of data for each group. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do that. You can create an outline of row, an outline of column, or an outline of both the row and the column. So because of the limited time, today I'm just going to demonstrate to you how to use the auto outline. But mind you, there is a manual way of doing it. But again, my reasoning is why use the manual if I could do it automatic? It will be faster, correct? So again, there are some guidelines that you have to remember. When you're dealing with list of information, make sure that each row of data that you want to outline has a label in the first column. These are the labels of the column. It contains similar information, and these are what? All the ridership, right? And facts in each row. And then the range has no blank row or column. Everything is complete, no empty rows or columns. Those are the important things that you have to do. Now, again, to be able to use the feature auto outline, the outline data by column, you must have a summary column that contains formula. In this case, in my column, I have the summary, which is the total that contains the formula that reference the cell in each of the detailed column. Okay, so I have all of those. So what do I do to start? Just click your mouse anywhere within, no specific cell, just within the range of cell. Then all you have to do again is make sure you are in the data ribbon. All the way to the right, you see outline. You see the first option there called group. Click on the drop down arrow, and that's what you call auto outline. Select auto outline. Now, what do you see on the screen right now? The outline symbols. Okay, the outline symbols. You see that little minus that appears on top of the formula column. Okay, so this is, I know, is the total. So what does the minus sign means? The minus sign would actually what? Take a look. If I click on the minus sign, what will it do? It will hide the details. Yes, it did hide the details for the month of April. So I wanted to hide the details for the month of May. I click on that too. I want to hide the details for the month of June. I could do that too. But again, that's manually. Look at the number on my left side that corresponds to that plus sign. You see the 1? Now there's a 2. The 2 would expand and display the data. And if I wanted to hide the details, you click on 1. Is that not a lot easier than selecting the multiple rows and hiding each one of them? It also created an outline for my rows. You see, I have 1, I have 2. So if I click on 1, it will hide. Now it just gave me the grand total per week, per month. But what if I click on 1 here? Then it gave me the grand total for the month of April, May, and June. Is that not so easy and simple to be able to come up with the result? Then if I want to print this, all I have to do is click on the print preview and take a look. You have the totals. What if I go back and I say, hey, I wanted to just show the totals here. Oops, 1 second. I click here. There you go. And if I do a print preview again, I could have that list done. Is that not so beautiful? And that's basically your filtering. Okay. And outlining, sorry, outlining. Now to bring back your entire list again, all you have to do is on the ungroup, you say clear outline and it will bring you back all your data. And that's how easy it is to remove an outline. Okay. So that's outlining. Now let's go to the next topic because I have 2 more topics that I would like to show you and they're both interesting topics. The next topic is about subtotals. So I'm going to do my subtotals. Again, I have here the list, a makeup list of product names and stations. You notice I sorted them by station. Now, what is the purpose of my topic, which is subtotals? Okay, you could summarize data in Excel by calculating the subtotals. So on my list, the reason why I had this sorted by station is because I would like to get the total of the products given away in the month of July and August. If you're going to do this manually, right, you would select, hey, I needed to get the subtotal there. 2 ways. I could put the subtotals here, or I could insert a blank row, put here, and then I would say, hey, I'm going to create my AutoSum, right? That's how we are going to do it. And then get the AutoSum from here, got the AutoSum from there. But there is an easier way to get the subtotal per station, and that's what you call the subtotal option. So the subtotal can automatically be calculated by using the functions. Okay, so what do you do once again? Again, before you start working in it, make sure that each column in the range of data for which you want to calculate the subtotal has a label in the first row, which I do have it. Product name, station, July, and August. Okay, and the information are similar. The content are similar in each column. And of course, there should be no blank rows. You know, when you wanted to quickly take a look at your data to see if there's no, you see there's no blank rows right there. Oh, that's the use of the zoom options that you have. Now, let's now make a, get the subtotal and using that option. Again, I will have to click my mouse anywhere within the list. To be able to create a subtotal in the list, all you have to do is again, go to the data ribbon. And in the data ribbon, go all the way to the right for the outline group and their subtotal. Let me click on the subtotal right there. In the outline group subtotal, now you have the dialog box called subtotal. Let me move my dialog box to the right. To move it, you use the title bar for it. Now look at each change in product name because those are the column headings. It's not the change in product name, but I would like for every change of station. So click on the drop down arrow. So I have the subtotal for station 1, station 2. Okay, I have the option of getting the sum. Okay, so I'm going to use the sum or any other, see the other functions that I have here, but I'm dealing with sum. And I would like to see the sum for the month of August. So then by default, replace current total is active and summary below data is active. When I click OK, there you go, 1, 2, 3, the total is up there for your subtotal for the month of August. Well, can I change my mind and have also July? Sure. Click on it, click on July, click OK, and there's your subtotal. Now, can I print it? Yes, you can. And when you do a print preview, you see all the subtotals in it. But what if you would like to print and separating it per station per page? Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. How? If you go to your subtotal, there is an option here that says page break between groups. If you turn that on and you click OK, if you now do a print preview, you see that imaginary darker line now there. And when you do the print preview, it will now be printed per station. There you go. Beautiful, isn't it? So those are your options to be able to have it on. Now to turn it off, once again, and look, there is also the outline here. I could just get the totals per station, and I could even have the grand total right there for the month of July, August, or the total per station for the month of July and August, or I could actually have the details. Beautiful, right? And to turn it off, all you have to do is go to subtotals and remove all. Perfect. What a nice way to use some of the common feature that we have here. It actually definitely would save you a lot of time. Now we will go to the very last topic, which is data validation. This is something very useful, especially when we are doing some data entry. Let me talk about the data validation for the meantime. Working with data in Excel with data validation. Okay, so let's work on this. You could use the data validation, it says, to ensure that selected cells accept only valid data to make sure, you create a table, you have one person assigned to do that, but you wanted to make sure every data that is inputted into your worksheet are correct. That's when those data validation rule can actually apply. So in short, the data validation can restrict the type of data or the values that the user could enter into the cell. So, there are certain things that you could actually use to do that. So first, in the data validation in the dialog box, there will be a setting. And in that setting, you see it allows any value. There are multiple values that you could actually change. On the setting, it allows you to make some customization on the whole number, decimal, list, date, time, text and length, and custom. Then after putting your settings, okay, which I'm going to show you how, then you could actually also put in your input message. What type of information is the person going to put in, and some tips or pointers when they're doing the data entry. And of course, there should always be also an error alert for a person who might have mistyped some information. So let's try to work on this, and let me show you how it works. So I have here a table, a blank table, but I would like to use the data value, create rules for a person who's going to enter employee ID. So I will have to click my mouse on C4. Okay, I'm on C4 right there. Now, to activate my data validation, once you have selected your cell, once again, under your data, under the data tools, there's the data validation. Activate the data validation. And I have here the data validation, dialog box right there. So in the setting, so I am going to put rulings for employee ID. So in the validation criteria, in the text box under allow, you click on the drop down arrow. And I would like to make sure that the person who's going to enter employee ID number will only put 6 characters. So then my rule is about the text length. Okay. Okay. And again, I would say not between, it should be equal to be very specific, that it is only 6 characters in length. So that's my criteria. Okay. Now, I go to input message. In the input message, on the title, I would say employee ID. And in my input message, I'm going to do this one just to demonstrate to you. I would say employee ID should be 6, and I would put in parentheses, okay, so, oops, sorry, to be very clear, characters long. That's my message. And if they accidentally make a mistake, I could hear there's a style, stop, warning, or information. You could say stop, and you could say title, invalid. Invalid employee ID. And my message could say, please enter another value. Then you click OK. Now take a look. It works right there. So if I type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 digits, and when I hit the enter key, take a look. It's an error. Please enter another value. So it would not accept my entry. Okay. So I would cancel that. It would only take if it's the correct number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hit the enter key. Perfect. How about the department? Okay. So you have multiple departments. It could actually be entered in multiple ways. So again, I click on D4, and in D4, oops. Okay. I have here data validation. And in my data validation for D4, on my department, I will click on the drop-down arrow here. Okay, and in here, what should be my option? I would like to create a list of the different departments so people could just select from the list. Now, in creating a list, if you have a list available already, you could use the list. But if I don't, I could type the source by typing what are the department, HR, separate them with a comma, no space, IT, separate with a comma. Let's say I have legal. I'm just going to make up some departments, comma, finance, comma, operations, comma, and sales. Okay? And then you could actually put input messages and error too. Okay? So I'm not going to do that because, we still have, instead, I'm just going to use other exercise. So look, so if I click, it will be a lot easier. People could just select and there will be less error in typing the information. How about dates? How do you put rulings for the dates? For the dates, it's also very easy because all you have to do again is click validation, data validation for the date. And in the date, you could actually click on the drop down arrow here. And what do you select? You could just select date as date. And I could say between start date, all the classes begins on 4, let's say 1/2020. And there will be other future classes. So I will use the function equal today. Open and close parentheses. So it will give me the current date from 4/4 to the current date is my entry. And that's actually my data validation for the date. So that's for the date. Now, before going on to the last option, the class, right? Remember a while ago, I did the list by typing it. What if you have a list of classes on another worksheet? In this case, I have a list of classes in this worksheet. So instead of typing, you could just generate that list by going to data validation. Data validation, again, you create the list, but in the source, instead of typing, you actually get the source by going to the worksheet, select the range of cells that you would like to use for the list. It's right there, and click OK. And your list is automatically included without you exerting another effort typing all of those information. And that's basically about the data validation. Okay, so I hope I was able to show you all those informations. Now I needed one more practice for validations because I think I need another volunteer, Rafael. Is there another person that I could ask to help me create a data validation ruling?
Everybody wants to volunteer today, Marites. We got plenty of.
Okay.
Who should I pick now? All right, let's go with Terrence. Terrence Artis.
Okay. Last name artist R
Yes.
A R.
Yes. Artis.
Okay, Terrence, I saw your name
Yes.
right there. And I would like Terrence. Terrence, you have the access to my mouse. Hey, can you create a data validation for employee ID for department and date of hire? Go ahead. It's your turn to show us. So go to employee. Yes, click first on cell, the first one. Yes. Data. Yes. Click on it. Click on the drop down arrow. Yes. Data validation. Select the first option, data validation. Okay. So create your own rule. Yes, very good, because you want to be very specific. How long is your employee ID number? 6 also? Very good. That's good. Okay. Give me an okay, that's fine. I'll let you do the department. Now do the department now. Create a list. Data validation. Allow. Create a list. And make up some departments. Go ahead, type your departments. No space. Yes, perfect. You might ask me, why should I have avoid space? Because if you put space, you won't see the list. No, don't click OK yet. Go back to it. Go back to the department. I want you to put, no, it's okay. Just go back to the data validation for that department. Go back to data validation. Okay, so you created, okay, you created the settings. Do it again. Sorry about that, but I want you to put input message and error alert also. Sorry, I forgot to tell you, but it's okay. You have time. Make up anything, yes. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, expand again, expand. Go to input message. Yes. Okay. Give me some message that you would like to see, or, the data entry person. What do you want them to see when they're doing the data entry? What instruction? So the title could be the name of the column, department. You could type the word department. Okay. In the input message, what instruction would you give the data entry person so that they could actually put in the correct department? Perfect. Perfect. How about the error alert? Click on the error alert. What if they're working too fast and they didn't see it? So you could say on the title, invalid department or invalid entry. Any heading, it's up to you. And what should be the error message? How should they correct it? Perfect. Then click OK. Got it. You are so good. Now, do the date of hire. Just the ruling for the date. And once we're done, we're done. Just the settings. Go to the settings. Okay, just give me the settings for the date. You know what's nice about the date? It's you could have a range by saying between, 2 dates, or it could be anything before, or after, whatever. Always put the equal sign before, Terrence, before the word today. Put the equal sign before the word today because you're using, it's a function. Today it's a function, so put equal sign. Okay, and click OK. Perfect. Okay. So thank you so much. Much I wanted to give you more time to practice, but we need to move on. Okay, everybody. So I have one more thing for you to do, if you can, please. Okay. And I would like to share to you the polling before we end, before I give the floor to Ibel. Now, we would like to know which software application or topic would you like to receive in additional training on. And there's a text box that you could actually type so that at least that will give us an idea of what other application would you like to learn and any specific topic that you would like to know more. You could type it in. If you haven't thought about it yet, again, we have the e-consult to be able to send us an email, to that information so we could better prepare and provide you with the training that you need to help you be able to work more efficiently. You're already good, but you could be better. So
they can also put it on the Q&A, Marita.
Yeah, you could also put it in the Q&A. So you have a lot of options or places that I could also capture it from that location. So Ibel, while they're working on it, Ibel, would you like to say goodbye to everybody, Ibel?
Oh, certainly, certainly. But I'm so excited and glad you remembered about the polling, because we do want to know what they need. And I got to say, Maritez, you worked your magic in this session. I'm sitting there like, okay, so who's going to do it? Who's going to take off? So, guys, yeah, so it's eval, and thank you so much for allowing us to support your skills building. As you see, we want to help you, and we want you to tell us how to help you. So we have eConsult, and the email is where you can inform us of your needs following this Transit University workshop. And I got to let you know, we have over 180 classes in Transit University, and they're meant to address your challenges and enhance your workday. And we understand that this is definitely not enough time for you to get everything you need, but don't hesitate to reach out to us or our team. And when you come to us, then we can improve our ability to tailor classes to fit the needs of your team. So I got to take a minute because there is Rafa. Thank you so much for supporting Maritez today. And then there is my very dedicated team that sits on the sidelines, that we bounce things off each other all week. And we face our own learning challenges together to support you. So we use each other as a resource to teach each other. And we stay dedicated to practicing at being a team that never stops learning. So also, thanks again. And MTA family, thank you for your time. Thanks.